So we actually see Chocolate Town is covered in ice, which we knew how everything is actually encased of it. So it could be Aokichi who actually trapped everyone and stopped them frozen. But we actually headed back to the story right now, where the Straw Hats have met someone who claims to be a famous scientist. By that, I mean they actually meet the famous vegapunk, which we knew how Frankie have fascinated, actually became a fan of her work, in which they actually realized how the giant robot that she's piloting is actually bigger than General Frankie's, in which we knew how Sanji is really fascinated by her, in which they never realized that she is being a woman, but they actually knew that is not actually Vegapunk. But we actually see how she told them that they're looking at Punk to Vegapunk Lilith, which is actually a Stella body, which it was someone whose look appeared to be Vegapunk. But they say that they're not rescued, but they're trespassing on island, as they have found weaponized sea creatures at hand. But we actually see someone who Lilith is talking to. His name is Shika, who actually knew about the fact that she must take pride in being a scientist, in which we knew how she looked at the bounties of their heads, which she looked at Zoro and Robin, how they're actually staying calm in the battle, which we knew how they actually asked if they want something from her, which we knew that they are bringing them to the location where Shika actually is, or should I say, Punk One, Vegapunk Shika, which we knew that there was an old man there, which we actually headed back to the location where Luffy, Chopper, and Jinbei are talking with Julie Bonnie, in which they actually saw how they're actually in the lab where Vegapunk turned her father into a robot, which he lost complete sense of himself, which of course she is actually talking about Bartholomew Kuma, who's actually her father, in which we knew how all of this actually happened, in which they actually have seen more of Egghead Island, where we see how all the weaponized bees are there, in which we see how Luffy is eaten by one, in which he actually dodged one as well, which they've actually have gotten themselves some food as well, by which we see how it's not actually real, but is actually a hologram, which they never saw how science actually works, in which they actually have met another Vegapunk who's actually is not a hologram, but a real life person, which the machine have gave out actual food, in which, with a push of a button, we see how this vegapunk actually is upset at the fact that it actually punished the bad robots for attacking the guests, in which another one actually appeared, by which her name is actually Vegapunk Atlas, in which we knew that they heard that name before. Meanwhile, we see how CP0 have actually on their way to find how they knew about Vegapunk, in which they've actually have learned that there are 6 Dr. Vegapunks, which are Shika, Lilith, Edison, Viragoros, Atlas, and York, which we knew how all of them are actually their precious assets, by which Lucci, Kaku, and Sui are on their way to actually kill them with another Seraph who looks exactly like a regular pacifista, but now we're going to see how they're going to kill her in the process. So, 2 things actually happen. One, Chocolate Town have actually been frozen in ice. And the second thing, that there are actually 6 Vegapunks in Egghead Island, which their names are actually, for example, Lilith is the name of the fictional second dark moon of Earth, which is existence might be exists in 1918. Atlas is actually the Titan that actually was imprisoned to hold up the heaven for eternity with his mighty strength, which is actually a constellation and also a moon craterer, which is actually based on the story of Atlas holding up Earth. York, which is desire, which is a ancient name of a constellation. Edison, which is flair or creativity, which is a notable scientist and creator of the moon, which is also based off the real life scientist known as Thomas Edison. Pythagoras is actually known as wisdom and knowledge, which is a Greek mathematician and astronomer who known as another creator of the moon. Shika, logic, justice, and correctness, which is actually based off the Saint Syria character, and also the Virgo constellation, and also Stella, which is written for main slash true body, which is actually the celestial star in Latin, which there are actually 6 Vegapunks who are the target for CP0. So we're going to see what's going to happen on the next chapter next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page and Twitch. Until then, this is Sam Make here saying sign out. Laters and be safe.